Scary with you. Welcome back to the moments that define WrestleMania, my daily series of the moments from each WrestleMania that I consider to be the cream of the crop. We're 3 weeks away from the 26th WrestleMania from Glendale, Arizona, University of Phoenix Stadium. We are one night away tomorrow night from the reforming of the Monday Night Wars. Monday Night Wars Part 2, WWE Raw versus TNA Impact, both shows live. And not much else I could say about that, because I gotta move on. With WrestleMania VII, March 24th, 1991, from Los Angeles, California. Originally, the event was supposed to be held in the Los Angeles Memorial Coliseum. 100,000 people easily could have been attended to WrestleMania VII. There, also the home of the USC Trojans. They play football there. Then the LA Rams, the LA Raiders, home of the first Super Bowl also. But WWE siding with Sergeant Slaughter portraying an Iraqi sympathizer at the time. As WWE champion also heading into the event, a death threat was sent to him, either sent to his house or sent to the company. Which permitting the change of venues to the sports arena. The second time that the sports arena has held WrestleMania. The first time was WrestleMania II, 1986. Overall, there were some good moments in this event. You had the Nasty Boys winning the tag team championships, and a very enthusiastic Jimmy Hart and his crew of wrestlers that he managed. Celebrating the champagne on ice, the champagne flying all over the place, even on Marla Maples, who was trying to interview, but to no avail, you couldn't hear her. Married to Donald Trump at the time, Donald Trump also showing up at WrestleMania, along with Willie Nelson singing America the Beautiful, Macaulay Culkin, Henry Winkler, George Steinbrenner, owner of the Champs, among a whole bunch of other stars in Hollywood. Another interesting match. The blind leading the blind in this one. Jake Roberts, Jake the Snake, who had been blinded by Rick Martel's arrogance spray in October, months early, those two wrestled in a blindfold match, or as I like to call it, a chokey match, because those weren't blindfolds. I swear to God, one of them must have been suffocating. Maybe Jake more. Who knows if he drank before the event, but yes, bad joke. Okay, I take the blame for that. But yeah, it's just kind of weird. Those weren't exactly blindfolds. I'm not so sure. I don't know what WWE was thinking, but it was family friendly at the time. We had another squash match. Not so much a memorable squash match. It's basically the Legion of Doom kicking ass on Power and Glory. Honestly, I think a better squash than that was Demolition, losing to a couple of random Japanese wrestlers, Tenryu and Katao, I believe. That was Demolition's last match in WWE, actually, at WrestleMania VII. They split up to be Crush and the Repo Man. So, there you go. And we'll move on to the moments that have defined and have lasted. Number 3 has lasted a long time in the formation of the streak. 17-0 began at WrestleMania VII. With Jimmy Snuka, WWE Hall of Famer, Superfly Jimmy Snuka, who took part in WrestleMania 25 last year. I think his last regular match in WWE at a WrestleMania for a while, against The Undertaker, and The Undertaker with Paul Bearer, beginning his streak that has lasted to this day, that may be in danger this year, and we'll talk about that March 26th on the WrestleMania pregame show. But The Undertaker's streak, number 3. Number 2, Superstars and Stripes Forever was the tagline for this WrestleMania. Hulk Hogan, real American, representative of this country and the World Wrestling Federation at the time. Facing Sergeant Slaughter, who was the Iraqi sympathizer. The Persian Gulf War at its peak at this time. And Hogan versus Slaughter for the WWE Championship. And the real American Hulk Hogan pulling it off as he always does, winning the WWE Championship, and he would keep it until Survivor Series, when, of course, The Undertaker would win the belt. He wouldn't keep it long, but that was The Undertaker's first WWE Championship against defeating Hulk Hogan. 1 year after his debut, actually, too. The Undertaker debuting at the 1990 Survivor Series, and 1 year later, Thanksgiving Eve, taking the title from Hulk Hogan in the Motor City of Detroit. Number 1, my favorite match led to perhaps one of the most emotional moments in WWE history. It was a career-ending match. The loser would have to leave. It was the Ultimate Warrior, who lost the belt to Sergeant Slaughter at the Royal Rumble because of the Macho King, now Macho King Randy Savage, not the Macho Man. He had sensational Queen Sherry in his corner at the time. Sherry was declined for the Warrior he would not defend the title against Savage. Savage costing the Ultimate Warrior the title at the Royal Rumble, setting up this match. The loser would not wrestle anymore. Obviously not the case in most career-ending matches. Macho King Randy Savage, unaware, Miss Elizabeth was in attendance. She had been gone. She had not sided in some cases, in some matches with Randy Savage. But the match, 20 minutes long, it was incredible. The fans were loving it. I was loving it. The Ultimate Warrior, looking from the Warriors above, didn't think he could do it, and in the end he does do it. Retiring Macho Man Randy Savage only for a little bit of time. But after the match, Miss Elizabeth getting all teary-eyed in the stands as Sherry is kicking him. Gets out of her seat, rushes in, pushes Sherry off, and thus the fans, a lot of them, a lot of the 20,000 fans in LA, crying. Elizabeth crying, Randy Savage, and Miss Elizabeth having a moment there in the ring. Bobby Heenan, this is sickening! He's stamping his disapproval of the moment. And then it was, what does he say to a gorilla after the match? I would rather have money than a skirt. Bobby Heenan is comic gold at the broadcast booth, which he pretty much retired from managing at this event to go to the broadcast booth. But Randy Savage and Miss Elizabeth, their reunion would spark the match made in heaven at SummerSlam later that year, and Randy Savage's ultimate return to the ring. And he would be in a major role. So would Miss Elizabeth in 1992's edition of WrestleMania in Indianapolis, and we'll talk about that. We start a new work week tomorrow, on the same night as the Monday Night Wars, and we talk about WrestleMania VIII from Indianapolis, Indiana. We'll talk about that tomorrow. Skirmatsi saying, so long, until next time, the moments that define WrestleMania will continue, and we'll see you tomorrow.